Okay. On the top of the next page of your notebook, that's right, multiplying decimals. Now, don't write this down, but let's say we had this problem. Two and 6300 times 4 and 9/10. Now, don't write this down. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply as if there were no decimals. If you notice, the decimals are not lined up. When we multiply decimals, we don't worry about lining up the decimals. So we're going to multiply as if the decimals aren't there. 9 times 3 is 27, carry the 2. 9 times 6 is 54, and 2 is 56, carry the 5. 9 times 2 is 18, and 5 is 23. We cross out that 9, put a 0 down in its place, cross these numbers out. 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1. 4 times 6 is 24, and 1 is 25, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 is 10. We add them up, just like we normally would. 7 and 0 is 7, 6 and 2 is 8, 3 and 5 is 8, 2 and 0 is 2, 1 and nothing is 1. Now, we see how many numbers there are to the right of the decimal in our problem, and we put the same number to the right of the decimal in our answer. We have 2 here and 1 there, so we have a total of 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our problem. So we need to have 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our answer. Now, something you can do. Start here and make 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. And so our decimal would go between the 2 and the 8. Okay? So, in your notebooks, for multiplying decimals, the rules. Number 1, do we need to worry about lining up the decimals? No. Okay, so rule 1. Do not need to line up decimals. It never stops amazing me how many people will line up decimals when we're multiplying. You do not need to do that. Step 2. What was the next thing we did? Evan? Multiplied like normal. Multiply as if there were no decimals. Step 3.
See how many numbers were to the right of the decimal?
And
Problem.
okay, so step 3. We're going to count how many numbers? Are to the right of the decimal. And the problem. So we're going to count how many numbers there are to the right of the decimal in our problem. And then step 4.
I know what it is. I don't know.
It's hard to say it, right? It's hard to put it into words.
Yeah.
Alyssa?
One number that, for every number that's to the right of the decimal, you go one number to the left.
One number to the right decimal. Oh, okay, move the decimal one place to the left. Okay? How about we count how many numbers there are to the right decimal in our problem and put the same number to the right in our answer. How about that? gonna see how many numbers there are to the right of the decimal in our problem, and we're gonna put the same amount of numbers to the right in our answer. Okay, let's do some examples. Put these examples in your book. Example 1, let's say we have three and 1/1500 times 2 and 9/10. As we said, in rule 1, we do not need to line up the decimals when we're multiplying. Rule 2, it says multiply like normal. So, 9 times 5 is 45, carry the 4, 9 times 1 is 9, and 4 is 13, carry the 1, 9 times 3 is 27, and 1 is 28. We cross out that 9, put a 0 down in its place, cross out this 4 and the 1, 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and 1 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, add them up, 5, 3, 11, carry the 1, 8 and 1 is 9, and now we have 2 here and 1 there, so we have a total of 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our problem. So we're going to put 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our answer. So 1, 2, 3, and so our answer would be 9 and 135,000. Let's do another example. This time, let's say we have 3,100 times 1,200. Once again, we don't have to line the decimals up in this situation, they just naturally line up. So now we're going to multiply like we normally would. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. Cross out the 2, put a 0 in its place. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. We add them up. 2 and 0 is 2, 6 and 1 is 7, 3 and nothing is 3. Step 2, we're going to count how many numbers there are to the right decimal in our problem. And we have 2 here, 2 there, so we have a total of 4. Now we're going to put 4 numbers to the right decimal in our answer. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a problem. We don't have 4 numbers. So what do we have to do, Aiden?
Put a 0.
We put a 0 in the empty loop. And that's why I recommend putting the loops there. Okay, that way you know that, well, if there's an empty loop, we need to fill it in with a 0. Okay? Any questions? Get out your boards. Okay, let's say you see a problem like this in your homework. 1 and 6/10 and 9,600. What does that mean? Evan?
1 and 6/10 times.
Exactly. We're going to multiply this. Okay? So, first thing I want you to do is write that problem up and down. Okay, let's see if you did number 1 correctly. Step 1. 1 and 6/10 times 9,600. Did everybody remember that you don't need to line up the decimal?
Yes.
Okay. next step, I want you to go ahead and multiply it, the first row, okay? Just the first row, and then we'll stop. Okay? 6 times 6 is 36, carry the 3, 6 times 1 is 6, and 3 is 9, and so you should have 96. Okay? Now, what's the next thing we need to do? Dakota?
Cross out the 6.
We're done with that 6, so we cross it out, and then put a 0 in its place. Okay? Now finish off that number. Finish off multiplying with that number. Okay? Let's check it. I'm going to cross out that 3. 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9. And 5 is 14. Okay, now, when you're checking your paper, or when I'm checking your paper, if you get the wrong answer, the first thing I'm going to look for is, did you have 96 in the first line? And then the second line, did you have 1,440? If you have those two numbers, okay? Now I know you made a mistake with your adding. Go ahead and do the adding. And when you add them, you have 6 and 0 is 6, 9 and 4 is 13, carry the 1, 1 and 4 is 5, 1 and nothing is 1. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to put the decimal in our answer. Okay, so step 3, count how many numbers there are to the right decimal in your problem, and then put the same amount of numbers to the right of the decimal in your answer. Okay, so we have 1 here, 2 here, so we have a total of 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our problem. So we need 3 numbers to the right of the decimal in our answer, 1, 2, 3, and you should end up with 1 and 536,000. Owen.
Why do you say we're going to the right when we're going to the left?
I'm just saying that there's 3 numbers to the right of it. I didn't say, I mean, I could say move the decimal 3 places to the left. I could say that, or I just say, make sure that there's 3 numbers to the right of that decimal. Okay? Same way, different wording to get the same thing. Okay? If you want to think about move the decimal 3 places to the left, go for it. Let's do another one. Let's say you have a problem written like this. $253,000 with a dot, and then 9/10. Let's say it's written like that. What does that mean? Now, multiply. If you see a dot in the middle between 2 numbers, that also means the same as multiply. Yeah, as you get more into the variables, and we're going to get into that later, because of variables, and one of the most common variables is x. Because of the variable being x, you won't see the multiplication symbol with an x nearly as much as you guys get into high school. You're going to see more and more with the dot. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Line that, write that problem up and down. Okay, so when you write it down, first thing, do not need to line up the decimal, so you're going to have 253,000 times 9/10. You don't need to line up the decimal. Okay, go ahead and multiply it. Okay, let's check it real quick. 9 times 3 is 27, carry the 2. 9 times 5 is 45, and 2 is 47, carry the 4. 9 times 2 is 18, and 4 is 22. So when you multiply, you should have got 2,277. Now, we need to make sure we put the decimal in our answer. For Owen's sake, okay, we have 3 numbers here, 1 number there. So that means we have 4 numbers to the right of the decimal problem. So we're going to move the decimal 4 places to the left. Does that sound better for you, Owen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to move it 4 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we have 2,277 10,000. Erase it. Let's do one more. $309,000 times 2,400. Go ahead and do the whole thing. Do this one on your right. One of you two might be wrong, or maybe you're both wrong. Since you two have the same answer, I'm going to guess that yours is wrong. Based off other people, I'm going to assume yours is right. Based on the others, I'm going to assume yours is right. And based on the others, I'm going to assume that yours is right. My daughter, she had a biology test today, and the one thing was about inferences, making an inference. And so if 5 people have the same answer and somebody has the wrong answer, I'm going to infer that the person has the wrong answer or has a different answer, that theirs is wrong. But that's an inference. That's not, we have to test it to see if it is wrong or not. Okay, so let's see one. So, we have 309,000 times 2,400. 4 times 9 is 36, carries a 3. 4 times 0 is 0, and 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Cross out that 4, bring the 0 down, cross that 3 out. 2 times 9 is 18, carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0, and 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Add them up. So far, you should have 1,236 on the first line, 6,180 in the second line. Okay? Now 6 and 0 is 6, 8 and 3 is 11, carry the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 1 is 7. And now we have 3 numbers here, 2 numbers there, for a total of 5 numbers to the right decimal problem. So we need 5 numbers to the right of the decimal answer, so we'll move it 5 places to the left. There you go, Owen, I hit you both. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Have an empty loop, put the 0 there, and so we would have 7,416 100,000? 10,000, yeah. 7,416 100,000. What?
Do I still get part credit? Because I had a 6 by 7.
Did you have the right answer? Then it's wrong. Any questions?
No.
Okay? Your homework.